What is the best thing about working in the TV and film industry? Oh, God. Well, it depends. It depends who you are and what you like. Some people have a horrendous time. I mean, I'd like to say, okay, for me, it's that I love those things. It's that I love TV. I can't believe my luck that I'm working in my favourite thing. My favourite form of entertainment, I'd say. But what's the best thing? Why do I like it so much? It's coming up with the ideas. Above all else, obviously the money's great. It's nice to do well. I like everything: writing, directing, producing, acting. I even like the marketing of it to a certain extent. I just like, because I know that's part of it. But my favourite thing is coming up with an idea. When I come up with an idea, I get an adrenaline rush. I go, oh my God. Oh, can I do that? That is the best. That's the best thing I've reached a level or demanded that if I have an idea, I want to do it my way. So the creative process, that's the answer. The creative, doing something I love and coming up with the ideas. And there's lots of frustrating things. Things go wrong, and politics getting involved. People, you can't say that. You can fucking say that. Stop treating people like idiots. That's like worrying about a heckler. The way they treat things in like TV and film, and one person complains, oh, we better look at this. No, don't look at it. You wouldn't look at if a heckler shouts your shit. You wouldn't go, oh, okay, I'm not. I'm going. Bye. You go, shut the fuck up. What do you know? So I don't know why people pander so much to a few people not liking it. They don't have to fucking watch it. But apart from that, I like it. I even like that bit. I even like annoying some people. Any psychiatrists watching? And it's just a happy song. It was one of those songs that just make you immediately. It just makes you smile, doesn't it? Maybe, unless you're going through terrible trauma. I mean, if you've just been hit by a train and you're crumpled up, you lost your feet and you're screaming, you're losing a lot of... Probably wouldn't do the trick. Quickly, wait, listen, morphine is better in that. But given an average day, right, that song will make you feel a little bit happier. As I say, extreme trauma, it won't cut the mustard. Good. How are you? Where are you watching this from? Let me know. I don't know why. I just like the idea that people are watching this absolute bollocks all over the world. In some countries, they don't even know what the word bollocks is. I should explain really. It's a colloquialism, double meaning. It means absolute nonsense. That's why I call this absolute nonsense. Just rubbish. So it's rubbish. Also slang for... So, two birds with one stone. Meaning rubbish and bollocks meaning... So, I haven't done this for a while. Was it? I know what you're thinking. Rick, you've had a haircut. Yeah, I have. Right, first, start off, thank you to Mel, Toffee and Fudge and the Bollocks Gang. I did tweet that, but they've sent me a little afterlife bench and a lovely card. And they even sent me Auntie to sit on the bench with me And look at this bit for a lovely bit of detail. Oh. Oh. Never mind Barbie. Look at that. That's what they'll all be wanting this Christmas. Brilliant. Right, questions. Casper and Yuri. What is your best memory of summer as a child? And how did you keep cool? Swimming, sitting in like paddling pools when I was really little, or swimming. A hose, sitting under a hose, sitting in the garden. I mean, not when I was at school. Obviously, you couldn't do those sort of things. I didn't really care. I think when you're a kid, you just run round until you collapse, don't you? I still do that. I still sort of, I forget to drink water. An idiot. I remember when we were allowed to go on the grass, when I was little in school, when suddenly it was hot enough to go on the grass. I really remember that. That was great. Summer. As I got older, I like the smell of. I love nature, but where I grew up, the smell of tarmac was good because it meant it was hot. Do you know what I mean? Like you could smell the heat in this council estate. You could smell the heat. I remember I used to play tennis, and I could smell the green. My mum used to give me green flash, Dunlop green flash, and they were made of rubber. And sometimes it was so hot that I could smell the rubber where it was warming up on my shoes. So I didn't like trying to get to sleep at night. That was never good. Obviously no air conditioning. No, I mean growing up, not only we didn't have central heating or air conditioning, so you're just at the mercy of the weather, really. But I don't remember it being a big problem. Now it would be. Now I'm furious if something's 1 degree out. I'm furious. I had nothing growing up, and now it's like it's like I was born into royalty with what I demand. That's the thing, isn't it? You come from nothing and you start going, I want it like this. No, I've had it hard. I've had money for 40 years. I want this room at 18 degrees at all times. Bonfires. I remember my mum doing a bonfire on a Sunday. I like Sundays because when I was little, the whole family came over because my oldest brother and sisters had moved out by the time I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9. So they'd come over. Sunday was great. I remember getting up Sunday and the bath was like full of water, and my mum had made jellies and cakes to keep them cool for everyone coming over having trifle. Yeah, I think Sundays were my favourite day in the summer when I was little. Family, trifles. I mean, she made enough to last the whole week, so it wasn't like it was special on a Sunday, because there was, when you make 13 cakes and trifles, it tends to last a week. But she had nowhere to put them. Yeah, and then a bonfire. A bonfire about sort of 6 or 7 o'clock when they all left. Pax the cat. In Supernature, you talk about the platypus producing milk and eggs. What 2 seemingly contradictory traits from other animals would you like to pick for yourself, and why? Oh, well, obviously my superpower is always be flight. I can't believe I just watch seagulls and hawks. I think, oh, amazing! It's just to fly around, particularly in traffic when I want to get. I wish I could fly. I wish I could fucking just take off. I think we've talked about this, but it's got to be proper flight. I don't want to just bumble around like a daddy long legs. Do you know what I mean? It's no good. Just sort of like, sometimes I have dreams where I can nearly fly, but I'm only like 6 foot off the ground, so people can still come and punch you in the face. That's the sort of dreams I have. Oh God. So flight, but then a bird's sort of small and vulnerable, so maybe I'd like a bit of like, maybe I could be like a flying walrus somehow. You didn't say I had to work, so I want arms, wouldn't I? I want arms, like the animal I invented when I was 12 or 13. I've told you about that, haven't I? Yeah, loads of times. Body of a rhino, arms of a gorilla, big tail of a scorpion, lion's head, and I thought I'll make it fast, so I gave it legs of a cheetah. Would have collapsed immediately. But this doesn't have to work. So somewhat big and meaty, a rhino with wings. So I can just go take off and then just smash in, just come down, smash into. Just. Oh God, there might be something wrong with me. I've been practicing improv comedy on camera at home, and I end up worrying that I might offend someone. How do I stop this feeling? Because I really want to get over this hang-up. You shouldn't worry about it because you can't help it. You will offend someone. There's someone in the world, there's nothing you can say that someone somewhere in the world will find offensive. Often it's faux offence, they just want to be heard. You can't worry about them. If you don't go out of your way to offend someone, it's ridiculous. You'll end up, it's impossible. It's impossible to do anything funny where someone somewhere goes, oh, I don't, but, because everyone's different. There's 100 things you can talk about, and everyone's fine with 99 of them, and they get offended by one. You can't second guess them. So you just got to get over that. If someone wants to be offended, they will be, and they'll do it and let you know. They'll do it to stitch you up because they're not happy in some way. So you can't worry about that. And if you haven't gone out of your way to offend, there's nothing you can do. You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know. I've talked about this. Whatever you talk about, if you went out and said, hands up who's had this terrible thing happen to them, and they put their hands up, you went, anyway, I'm going to do it, then that's something. But you don't know those people, you don't know what they've gone through. It's mad to try and second guess. Everyone's gone through something. So there wouldn't be, if you had to do a comedy show when no one could be offended, you couldn't do it. So just don't worry about it. And also, just because they're offended doesn't mean they're right. Some people are offended by equality. Do you know what I mean? Some people are offended because they don't want equality. What can you do? There's no right and wrong to offence. It's a personal feeling. So you can't worry about it. Mick, do you think with your stand-up that you've been influenced by comedy we grew up with? Not the content, but the delivery. What, like... I think I know what you mean. You mean... yeah, I think I know what you mean. That sort of stand-up swagger, put down. I've been influenced by those guys like Groucho Marx, if that's what you mean. I think I think I have. I've always liked that sarcastic delivery. So yeah, you can't help it. You can't help being influenced, and then you make it your own. And it's there's never one influence. If you're influenced by one person, that's like a tribute. You're influenced by 50, so you make a new blend. But I do like that sort of sarcastic, ironic. Those guys that show that it's not best to be the cleverest bloke in the room, where they go out there with swagger, but they're the butt of the joke. I've always liked that sort of thing. Yeah. Deborah, what has been your biggest professional disappointment? You have had many successful ventures, but which one did you think you would have done? You think you could have done much better? Well, obviously my pop career, if you mean that ever, that's the biggest. That's the biggest thing because I gave up. That's why it's a big thing. I just gave up. And the big mistake I made, I wanted to be a pop star. I was 18 or 19. I should have wanted to be a musician. So when I came to this, I wanted to be a writer director, not just a celebrity or an actor or whatever. Within the realm of since I've been doing this, I don't know. You always want to do it better. I did the Golden Globes again because I wanted to improve on it. Also, you only fail if you give up. If you keep trying, what you call failures, they're learning processes, aren't they? So first time someone has a go at golf, they're rubbish. And when they get good, you wouldn't hold it against them. You would go, yeah, but the first time you played, you were rubbish. You go, yeah, that's why I tried harder and now I'm good. So to keep trying and getting better, it's mad to look back and go, oh, I failed for so long. You didn't fail, you hadn't finished yet. You just hadn't finished yet. You only fail if you just give up. But things are, I probably look, my early stand-up, I think I always put it, I wrote too much as opposed to do the stagecraft, and it was sort of there, and then I committed it to DVD too quickly. I wish I'd have, like my first one, Animals, I sort of wrote that, I did a couple of warm-ups, I think I did about 10 shows, and I recorded the DVD. Now, it's fine, but it would have been, I've done 50 warm-ups already for Armageddon. Armageddon's already better than Animals, you know what I mean? But then there's something charming about Animals, my first one, that I wasn't quite a stand-up, but it was funny ideas. So I never look back. I'd never go back and go, I'm going to re-record Animals to make it better. It's a document. It's like a document of where I am now. I think that answers your question. On the Afterlife, you've just come up with the best, but also potentially lethal joke. People convulsing and dying from laughing. You mean literally? Okay. It's the best joke of all time. Do you tell it? So, if I know that this joke is a murder weapon, so I've got this joke, anyone I tell it to, they laugh so much that they die. This is terrible. I mean, the answer should be no, of course not. But it's tempting, isn't it? Just people you don't like. Hey, mate. Sorry, we've had our differences, but they tell them the joke. It wouldn't be murder, would it? Because telling someone dying of a joke, that's not against the law, is it? If you tell a joke and it kills someone, that's not against the law. Also, it's like a gift, isn't it? I've given them the best death, apart from dying in their sleep, when they could be dreaming about having their legs pulled off by a giant monster. Dying laughing, that's a pretty good way to go, isn't it? If I knew that my jokes literally cause someone to die, I wouldn't tell them. No, I don't think so. Oh, imagine that. What a trauma that would be. You come up with that's everyone's dream, to come up with the greatest joke. Every comedian's dream, the greatest joke ever. And then someone says, you can't tell it, mate. Why? Because it's so good it kills people. I go, for fuck's sake. Really? Can I tone it down a little bit? So it just puts them in a coma for a week. And I go, we'd rather you didn't. I go, oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Thing is, I find my stuff funny, so wouldn't I, as soon as I thought that joke, wouldn't I die? And it wouldn't be a problem, would it? Stupid question. Mum and Sherlock. A life well lived is the best revenge, I once heard you quote. Yeah. What would your best advice be to get there? When it's hard to see the funny side of certain things and to focus on what's essential instead of looking back in anger. Just smile, question mark. Well, that's a good one. Just smile. I mean, clinically. So when you're happy, you smile. But the reverse is also true. They've done clinical tests where they made people smile and it cheered them up because your face sends signals to your brain and it releases the same sort of result. So you can, I mean, if you know, not if you're really clinically depressed, you can't just snap out of it. But a lot of those motivational speeches start with, you know, you can decide to be happy that day. Again, outside terrible trauma and being, you know, clinically depressed, everything being equal, you can sort of try and put yourself in a good mood, be positive. A lot of them say the same things, to be grateful, to go, right, what's good about today? What can I look forward to? Meditation puts you in a good mood, it clears your mind and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, be positive, be nice. That's really good. That's really, people, if you do a good deed, you feel good all day. Well, I do. If I a scruffling a dog, like, cheers me up. So yeah, a positive, healthy attitude, being grateful, being kind, scruffling a dog. Maybe the odd beer. So, you do the math. Glenn Martin, my question, if you get a chance. Would you ever play a dark role in a movie or drama? Say a serial killer? Yeah, but I don't know. It'd have to be something. I don't know. I don't just want to be someone just goes around murdering people. I know you don't actually murder people in a play. I know that. Mr. Rose, you've got the wrong end of the stick. You actually killed one of the cast. I thought you might be. No. It's all fake. It's all fake. You don't actually kill people. I'd want something more, I don't know, like a vampire would be good, because that's I can do that. That would be good. Just be a normal bloke. You know what I mean? If someone winds you up, they go, you go to the post office and go, hello, Mr. Rose, hello, sorry, this is closed. Sorry, I'm going to lunch. Wait, I just need to, no, that would be good, wouldn't it? Just a vampire that doesn't like bad service. You know, I don't need the blood. Anything that annoys me, I just go, and they, okay, what do you need? I need the change. Yeah. I wouldn't, it's not an affliction, isn't it, being a vampire? People are scared about it, I don't get bitten and become a vampire. But then once you've gone through that, you're set up for death. Not set up for life, set up for death, but for an eternity. I'd know in my luck I'd be a vampire and I'd feel guilty. I'd be vegan. Like a fucking idiot. They go, you fucking idiot. Oh, I know. What are you going to do? Just going to go and just creep in when they're asleep and steal their lentils. That's the worst vampire. Well, that's how I feel. I'm sensitive. You're a fucking idiot. I know, but I'm sorry, I don't agree with the bite in the neck. Charlie the cat. If we throw a party when you die, what is the one song you'd want us to play? You can't choose Bowie or say you don't care since you'll be dead. That's a good one, isn't it? That's a good one. You'd want something that would put them in floods of tears, wouldn't you? What would that be? I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about it. That's a really difficult one. Because, a song's often got just one message, isn't it? Oh. I have to come back to that. I'll think about that. If you had the attention of the whole world for 15 seconds, what would you do or say? These are getting hard, these questions. So, does it make a difference? Like, can I choose? I assume you mean like, and so I'd have a good result. Like, if you could tell 7 billion people one thing, even if there was not a lot of take up, it would still be an important message. So things like go vegan to save the planet, because the deforestation and the fact that we cause so much harm to the environment by breeding cattle to feed a few, and it takes like 10 times the amount of water, that sort of thing. And that'd be a good one, wouldn't it? 15 seconds. I could just say, watch Afterlife on Netflix. So it would either be a message to save the planet for future generations, or watch Afterlife on Netflix. I haven't decided which yet, but again, let me think about it. Claire, what was the moment that made you become an activist for animals? Well, there wasn't really a moment. My earliest memory is that I loved animals and couldn't stand animal cruelty. I was born, I acquired pets. They were there first. I remember I was little, I had a cat called Smokey that was there before me, and a dog called Betsy that was there before me. So I just felt that I've always thought that they've got as much right to be on this planet as me. So there was no moment, but then, you always do stuff for animals, and I've always, I suppose when you become famous, you become a voice for them. That was one question I got when I was famous. They'd say, oh, when did you start the animal activism? I go, well, I've always been that. It's just that more people hear me now. And that when I win an award, like a humanitarian award, I always say, there are people that actually go there. There are people that stand outside Tesco's all day with a tin. I just tweet or talk about it. They're the foot soldiers. So the answer is, as long as I can remember, but just more people hear about it now, because of, the upshot of what I do is fame, I guess. Good question there. Leopold and Loveday. Do you think it is more beneficial to be able to roar like a lion or purr like a house cat? Roar like a lion. I love a cat purring. A happy cat makes me happy. So I'm saying that sort of thing is infectious, isn't it? A happy dog makes me happy. If I see a dog, I smile. And a happy cat is lovely. But personally, I'd better roar like a lion, wouldn't it? Be like the vampire thing. Like, if someone's winding you up and you just go, fucking, fuck me. Be good, wouldn't it? That would be good. They think, you know what I mean? No one would mess with you if you could roar like a lion. Fuck me, he's mental. And he's loud. He's loud. Rachel, would you like to have wheels for feet? I mean, amongst the other stuff we've talked about, that isn't so mental, is it really? I've been a flying rhino within the last 20 minutes. So wheels for feet. I wouldn't mind if I couldn't have feet. Wheels would be good, but given the choice, I'd keep everything real at the moment. One day, that'd be good. Although wheels for feet, that'd be fine. But then when I've got a bad back, I'd need a wheel on each foot and a wheel coming out, so I could be sitting down, just going along. So, wheels for feet. Now I'm talking. Or the back of my neck, so I can just lay down. Like that. I've got wheels and that, I'm just going along like that. What a load of bollocks this is. Well, we've run out of time. Last one, Susie. Oh, can I sing the Derek Pudding song? When Derek makes up a song. Everybody here loves having pudding. We has it every day at 6 o'clock. Sometimes it is jelly, what is cold. Sometimes it is crumble, what is hot. Finale. Just brought the house down with that one. Right, good. Have a lovely week. Be kind to animals. Put out bowls of water outside your house for dogs. Be careful with dogs. Don't leave a dog in a car, obviously. Anyone who sees that, honestly, just smash the window. Yeah. Cheers. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye. Do you fancy going into politics? No. It would be a thankless task. It would be... No. I don't know... Oh, God. I'd go mental. I'd have to watch what I say, because I'm a comedian and no one should take me seriously, and I'm not in charge of people's lives. If I was a politician, it's the politics bit of it I don't like. If I said, what do you think, and you could do that, then it'd be fine. But it's the not being able to say the truth sometimes for an easier life, or humanitarian things versus economics, and there'd just be no question for me. Well, no, I'll do what's right on principle, and I'll do the humanitarian. I don't give a fuck about what happens to billionaires, but that's no good. That's no good for politics. So no, I'd be shit. I'd hate it. I'd be shit. There you go. That's two great reasons not to do a job. You hate it and you're shit at it. So no.
You'd have to be here, really, to understand the sense of anger, fury, actually, that has swept the United Kingdom in just 4 months of so-called Labour government under the plank of wood that is Sir Keir Starmer, unfeeling, unthinking, clunky, completely incapable of thinking or speaking on his feet. A man who has to read every line. Whoever hired this guy as a Queen's Counsel, now King's Counsel? Who would want to pay good money for him to represent them in court? But it's not just his personal failings and shortcomings that is the cause of the most remarkable petition ever launched in the history of the British Isles. A big claim. I'm going to back it up right at this moment at 7:03 on the evening of Sunday. That is to say, just 26 hours after the petition was launched, 1,358,000 people have signed demanding fresh elections in Britain. Some fools complain about the provenance of the petition. They don't like the fact that Nigel Farage and the Reform Party are heavily prominent in it. Or the retired police officer Norman Brennan, who we asked to come on the show tonight, but he required payment, and so we had to decline. But that doesn't mean we're not right behind the petition. We absolutely are. Who cares who started the petition? It has captured the zeitgeist. No petition ever has garnered that number of signatures on a petition, and it is growing tens of thousands per hour. It's going to reach millions of signatories, and that is because of the rank betrayal that Keir Starmer is already guilty of just 4 months into his premiership. The one that rankles most with me, and about which you've heard me speak many times, is the theft of the cold weather payment allowance paid to millions of British pensioners to help them through a bitterly cold winter. It's already unprecedentedly cold here in this global warming Britain. It is almost as bad as the weather can be here in the United Kingdom. Storms, snow, -8, -10, -12 degrees in the country, and pensioners having to struggle through deciding whether they eat or whether they heat. And no matter how much they heat, given that energy bills are 4 times what they were just 2.5 years ago, they're unlikely to be able to heat their homes sufficiently. I am not short of my electricity bill, but I'm going around shutting doors, making sure no drafts are letting the heating out. Imagine if you were a poor old-age pensioner in Britain. And what makes it much worse is that Starmer knew that he was going to do this before a single vote was cast. He did not even properly study what the impact of this measure would be. And worse still, he did it for Zelensky. Don't take my word for it. Look back at the chronology. The very next day after Starmer stole the coal from Britain's old-age pensioners, his Foreign Secretary, Idi Amin Dada, David Lammy, was in Kiev, promising 3 times the amount saved by stealing from the pensioners in perpetuity every year. 3 billion every year forever is what Keir Starmer has promised Zelensky. The ancient and peculiar hatred of the British towards the Russian people is a subject I'll come back to later in this monologue. But there are many other betrayals of which Starmer is guilty, and he is completely without the artifice to defend himself. He cannot find the words. He cannot find the empathy. He's launched a new battle today in the Mail on Sunday against Britain's benefit culture. But he is the recipient of the greatest amount of beneficence from private donors of any British politician in history. Just get your head around that. This man is wearing glasses, costing thousands of pounds, paid for by a private donor and not declared as they should have been. When you see him in a suit, I know he doesn't cut much of a dash, but somebody paid £12,000 for that suit, and he didn't declare that either. He has taken more freebies than any British politician in recorded history. This man who wants to make war on the benefit culture is the biggest beneficiary of them all. And we got a glimpse in the week of who might be paying in the end. You know, I predicted when he betrayed Britain's farmers at the budget by introducing a tax on inheritance of small family farms, that again he must have known he was going to do, but didn't mention it during the election campaign. I knew what he was up to. And 4 days later, he was sat in number 10 Downing Street with BlackRock, who will be buying the farmlands from the bankrupted farming families that have been ruined as a result of his treachery. Huge numbers of farmers and their well-wishers, of which I am one, were in central London, firing the first shot in what is going to be a long, bruising, damaging battle for the government if they go forward with their efforts to destroy farming in Britain as we have known it for centuries. He was right behind a suicide bill. They're not even hiding it anymore. Old grannies and grandmas, if they're cold, if they can't heat their house in the winter, well, we have a solution, said the government. We'll put you in a capsule, give you a glass of sherry and a jab on your upper arm, and you'll slowly slip away. This suicide death cult that is Labour is not content with killing people in the Middle East, killing people in the Ukraine, killing people in the Yemen. They're killing our own pensioners. They're killing our own chronically sick. Rather than investing in care at the end of life, they would prefer to persuade you that you've become a burden on your family and on society and on the taxpayer. And it would be a jolly good thing if you would shuffle off quietly into this good night. He has backed a genocide in Gaza, an actual genocide. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of the world's highest court, the International Criminal Court. Take the word of the International Criminal Court, the ICC, which this very week issued arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, the former defense minister, sacked by Netanyahu just the other week.
Brilliant. Really, really smart. There's some smart people on the internet. There's some fucking morons as well. But such is life.
It's RFK Jr. Now, if you're not familiar with him, it's probably because he ran for president and nobody cared.
Bowie to kick it off. And Heroes. That was Paul Hamilton said, play some Bowie at the start. So I did. I chose Heroes, obviously for all the nurses and doctors on the front line, everyone working for NHS, not just hospital workers, but, you know, everyone who's just carrying on in hard times, not whinging. They're not whinging. Who's whinging? Celebrities, millionaire celebrities.
We're familiar with him because he's done a whole mess of crazy stuff, including, but not limited to, admitting to dumping a dead bear in Central Park as a prank, living with an emu who would regularly attack his wife, owning 2 ravens who meditate with him every morning, bragging about his freezer full of roadkill, and beheading a whale, then strapping it to the roof of his minivan for a 5-hour drive home.
Yeah. I mean, it is embarrassing, isn't it? It is embarrassing.
Now, that sounds deranged, but he actually has a good reason for all of this. A worm got into his brain and ate a portion of it and then died. This is who Donald Trump wants to put in charge of our nation's health.
When you see these multi-millionaire entertainers, I'm sad again. Why? I'm not on the telly.
Right.
Robert F. Kennedy cares more about human beings and health and the environment than anybody. I'm going to let him go wild on health. I'm going to let him go wild on the food. I'm going to let him go wild on medicines.
Oh, good. Because that's exactly how I like my medicine. Wild. It's just like the directions on the pill bottle say, go crazy balls every 2 to 4 hours with food.
And it's not that I've got nothing against those people. They're all right. It wasn't that it was an awful product. It was awful. Right? It was the fact that with some of them, and this is always the case with sort of celebrity endorsement or charity, you know, you can't knock people for doing stuff for charity. That's a good thing. But it's when you look into their eyes and you can tell they're going, I am such a good person for doing this. I could cry at how good a person I am for giving up my valuable time, and my time is so much more valuable than yours. Thank you. So, yeah.
And RFK Jr. is ready for his wilding. Here he is yesterday talking about food deregulation.
Why do we have Fruit Loops in this country that have 18 or 19 ingredients, and you go to Canada and it's got 2 or 3?
I'm sad. I'm not on the telly every night. And if I see another article with a Hollywood actress going makeup free. The fuck? Oh, right, yeah. We're all chipping in, aren't we? Makeup free.
Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. There are no worms lining up to eat portions of my brain. But I went to the Kellogg's Canada website, and it turns out the Canadian Fruit Loops actually have 26 ingredients. And that doesn't even count the gravy, which Canadians use to make fruitine.
Oh, God. Oh, but some millionaire celebrities are a bit fed up. Fucking hell. Anyway. Cheers, everyone. Fucking hell.
The first question is, so why are you here? What's your objective?
Well, to get our England back the way it was.
How do we do that, and what is England to you?
England, to me, is Christianity. Just our English way of life.
How do we get back to that, though?
Well, getting rid of this government for a start.
Are you happy if you have tax money to fund what's going on in other countries like Israel, Ukraine?
I agree with Israel after October the 7th, yeah. I don't disagree with what they've done. But I do disagree with boat people coming over here and getting in front of our own people that are homeless, them getting put up in hotels. Yeah, I disagree with that entirely.
Did you know that we send more tax money to Israel than we send to the asylum seekers?
At least.
But you know that causes immigrants to come over as well, because when we're bombing Palestine, we're helping Israel bomb Palestine.
They could stop at the other countries. They're 10, 15 countries they come through, but I think they're on an easy ride over here, so they come here.
What about Ukraine? Are you happy for your tax money to go over there as well?
Yes, I think Ukraine have got to defend themselves, otherwise Putin never take over Russia. Yeah, take over. Well, take over. Get back to the old USSR. Yeah.
And you rules the waves. Britons never, never, never will be slaves. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves.
What are you? What do you believe in? Are you a Christian? Are you a Jew? What would you say? Do you believe in God?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
You're a Christian?
I'm a Christian, yeah. I've been pushed more. So I used to say that I didn't believe. My mum was a Catholic, brought up. But then as I've seen the attacks on Christianity, and I've also seen the decay in British society, And the fall of Britain has come from the fall of belief. We have since we've stopped believing, and what built Great Britain? Christianity. What built everything about us, everything about our nation that everyone wants to come to it and make it a success was built on Christianity. Since that's descended, since it's been coming under attack, since people have left it, it's left a void, and that void's being filled. And if we want to understand and remember who we are as part of our identity, I say to some people, even if you don't believe in Christianity, you don't have to believe in Jesus. That's what built us as a nation. That must be protected. That's part of our identity. But when it comes to the Israel and Jew things, I think Qatar, if you look at Qatar spent nearly £750 million in funding Islamic organizations across Europe. Radical jihadist mindset. Qatar.
I then, in 2009, like 5 years later, I set up the English Defence League. I set that up based on my own principles, which were anyone can join. We actually went on to have a Sikh division, a lesbian and gay division, a Jewish division, anyone that's affected by these problems, because I've grown up in a town where I don't care about other cultures. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're straight. None of that bothers me.
I'll tell you the truth. I was brought up a Catholic. I christened my kids a Catholic. I wish I didn't. I christened my kids a Catholic for my mum. My mum's a devout Catholic. I'm not.
I was brought up Christian, born into a Christianity, like most people are born into their religion, I guess. Always assumed there was a God and a Santa. I think I stopped believing in God the same year I stopped believing in Santa, but I think God beat Santa to it. Although I kept quiet about Santa for longer, because I thought, I know it's Mum and Dad, but if I expose that, do I stop getting presents? So I kept quiet for a little while. You're surrounded by it. And as I said, I don't think my mum was particularly religious, but as I've said before, as a working class woman, Jesus is like an unpaid babysitter. It just helps her bring up, so they think, if I'm not watching you, Jesus is. It's that sort of thing. It's to curb bad behaviour. It's to instill morality. Again, so they think, because traditionally, religion is associated with morality and good behaviour. Obviously, we know that's a random relationship. There's absolutely no relationship to good behaviour to any religion versus any other religion or lack of religion. You're either a moral person or you're not. And no religion owns or invented morality. I've read the Bible. Obviously, as a Christian kid, 5 to 8, you read the New Testament. But I was fascinated with the Old Testament as well. The bits they know have changed. Obviously, that wasn't Christian when it was written. Obviously, Abrahamic. It was. I mean, if you also, I've got no problem with spirituality. I've got no problem with people believing, there's a God, or they go to heaven, or praying, and fine, it doesn't affect me. Religion's something different, isn't it? Religion's something different. Religion is like, it politicizes it. It's like religion came along and went, oh, you believe in that God, do you? Well, it'd be better if you believed in this God, because this God does things that I like. So do that, do this ones. And then you go, okay, I believe in your God. Right, okay, well, then religion went, well, I know God, and he wants you to give me some money, and then you will go to heaven. That's religion. So you only have to look at the Old Testament to see it was written by men of the time. I mean, it really did favour the men that wrote it. But yes, I've explored it. I explore it every day. I'm surrounded by it. and even when I stopped believing, and because I got into science, you still have to, you're part of society, so you question it, you question rules, and then I studied philosophy, which, everything in theology they use philosophy, logical thinking, from the ancient Greeks to modern day philosophers like Bertrand Russell. They've all pondered, why do people believe in this? What's the evidence?
We're just here asking everyone, what's the reason you're here today? What are you trying to achieve?
What do you think is?
I don't know, you tell me, I'm asking you.
We want England back.
Mate, I've got a 5-year-old daughter, I've got a 14-year-old daughter. It's the safety of our women and children. Their beliefs are totally wrong due to, obviously what we believe in. This is a Christian country. Yeah, we look after everyone. Come over the right way, we ain't got a problem with that. It's not about the colour of your skin. We keep getting classed as racist. We're not far right. We're just worried about our women and children. Tempers are flaring now because we're paying for this and they're kicking off moaning, saying we've only got 2 controllers for our PlayStation. I work 5 days a week, yeah? The government take near enough half my money, and it's not fair.
So basically, you're sick of your tax money funding asylum seekers and all that?
You're on the wrong thing. Look at our NHS. Our NHS is crumbling. It was never designed for the infrastructure of how many people we've allowed to the UK.
Are you happy for your tax money to fund a genocide in Gaza, though, like funding Israel? Because, we send a lot more...
Getting it. That's another thing. They're not getting it. The governments are taking it.
Who's not getting it?
All the governments. All this aid that we send out, yeah, most of the governments take it. Look how much we've sent to Africa. We sent all this money out, yeah? Where's it all going? The soldiers take it, the politicians take it. It's all corrupt.
So you're happy for your money to fund Ukraine and Israel, though?
To a certain extent, yeah.
But more money goes to Ukraine and Israel than the asylum seekers.
No.
It does.
No, I'd say I'd disagree on that. I would literally disagree on that. It's not like that. From what we're seeing, we're just the ethnic minority, You've got good and evil, yeah? The Bible, Christianity, is good. The other one's pure evil.
But do you not think that the reason we get loads of immigrants is because we're funding these wars that are destroying our hometown?
Because it's easy. Come over on a boat, you get everything.
We don't give a about them. As long they come to our way of living.
Legend. Hello. It's the most wonderful time of the year, so the song goes. We finished our work, we sit by the fire with friends and family and eat and drink way too much. But for some people, it can be one of the worst times of the year. People living rough, haven't got a home and friends and family, and they can't eat and drink as much as they like. So that's why I'm going to wrap this up and go and give it to a tramp. So, probably film it for Instagram, so people know what a great bloke I am. Put some really sad music on it. See his little fucking face light up. Oh God. Dutch barn. Move on up. Why not? Good advice. Isn't it? If you had to choose one, would you never tell another joke in your life? That's impossible. That's impossible. Never taste alcohol again. Can I drink it and hold my nose? I think you mean never. I'll take that as never drink alcohol again. That's tough. Easier than the first one. Never travel beyond Hampstead or your house in the country. That's not that bad. The way honestly, even when I travel to places I really love, I wish they were down the road, or I could teleport myself. Just getting up and getting dressed. Lose all memories of your career since 2001. No, that's the fun bit, isn't it? Looking back at stuff. No, you did a good job, and that's soon. That's all you are, isn't it? Memories when you can't actually do any of that shit anymore. I think never go beyond Hampstead. That's fine. Unless something terrible happens to Hampstead, which I don't think it will. Hampstead is one of those places that sort of time forgot. Whatever's happening in the world, it's always okay in Hampstead. So I think it's got to be 3. Then I can tell jokes, drink alcohol, and remember stuff, although the alcohol. I thought that would be a good advert for alcohol, sort of like a play on words. Dutch Barn, it helps me forget, because it does actually, it can affect your memory. I told you I do honest advertising. Just me sat in a bin like that. I drink vodka because it helps me forget. What? That. Imagine that in the Super Bowl. That advert. Me in a bin going, I drink vodka because it helps me forget. What? That. Just that. Cost 40 quid, that advert. Put it on Super Bowl. Well, it probably cost about $1 million to put on Super Bowl, but you know what I mean? They're already regretting giving me the company. If you were a cat like us, would you climb the Christmas tree? Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because if I was a cat like you, I'd be an idiot, wouldn't I? So I would climb the Christmas tree. Merry Christmas. That's not bad, is it? I'll do that. Drink Dutch Barn. Merry Christmas. There's an advert. Another one. It's that easy. It's that easy. And my cat, when I was little, Paddy, big tabby, a bit like Pickle, used to eat the lametta. You remember that sort of like stuff that you'd hang on Christmas trees that was like sort of tinfoil? It would eat that and throw it up. So we just find these really sort of glamorous, shiny balls of vomit around the house. Liberace spew. Yeah, so I probably would climb the Christmas tree. Is there anyone you met professionally that has surprised you or been different to what you expected? David Bowie springs to mind, just because he was so innovative and I don't know, and he was like alien, and then you meet him and he's a normal bloke from South London. And he's really down to earth and funny, and he knows about stuff. He still knows what's going on. You know, you expect him to be sort of out of touch in some sort of weird lair. Yeah, just a bloke called Davy Jones. That's about it, really. Thanks for following. Yeah, be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
You wanted to divide them, you wanted to separate us. So we look divided.
We often see people pulled up online for an old tweet that contradicts their current position. And rather than celebrate that person has learned something and has changed their opinion, it is used as a massive pile-on to cancel them. Exactly. How do you feel about that? And is there anything your 20-year-old self would have tweeted that you wouldn't agree with now? I'm sure. I can't think of anything. Although I'd probably be embarrassed by my 20-year-old self trying to be so right on, because that's what most 20-year-olds are. They're trying to be. So I'd probably cringe at getting it slightly wrong, if anything. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Don't forget that sort of is purely people saying, "Look how good I must be." If I'm bringing someone down, if I'm cancelling someone because the tiniest thing they did 10 years ago, think how perfect I must be. That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to get one-upmanship to make themselves look better. So yeah, it's to be ignored. And you're exactly right. If there's no value in changing and saying sorry, don't bother then. It's ludicrous. You're exactly right. People, if you find something that people was 10 years ago and now they're not, you're right. That should be applauded because they've changed for the better. But it's just people hating on each other to make themselves look better. Best thing is just ignore it. Just ignore it. That's what these people, they want attention. They don't care what it is. It's like these people who go on any march to windows. They don't care about the cause. It's that 5% that brings all good ideas are eventually infiltrated and ruined by a minority. The trolls of the political world.
What a feeling. Okay? Most man in Britain. All your lives didn't work. And the best thing is, we're unifying the people. Exactly what you wanted to stop. You wanted to divide them. You wanted to separate us. So we look divided. Come on. Back up, mate. Back up. Come on.
But most people are all right. If you looked at Twitter, if an alien looked at Twitter, they'd go, we're not going there. It's mental, right? But if any aliens are watching, it's not like that. Don't think the real world is like the maniacs, the 5% crazies each other over the minutiae of nothing. It's not like that. Most people are nice, normal people getting on with their lives, okay? If you're a big fat slug, I'm Zorgon, I go, come on lads, come down, we're all right. We might eat you. We eat everything, so we might eat you. But apart from that, we're all right.